So entrepreneurship is rarely as glamorous as people make it seem to be. It's often romanticized as being an exciting adventure, brimming with endless possibilities, but the reality is not so glamorous. In reality, overnight success and innovative disruptors who change the game actually endure lots of sleepless nights and face several challenges on their path to success. Now, to kickstart the discussion, I'd like to ask the panelists. I'll start with Her Royal Highness Sheikha Jawahir. Let's weigh in on your own journey as an entrepreneur. So what first inspired you to be an entrepreneur?
First of all, good afternoon, ladies. It's refreshing to see a room this big with so many beautiful ladies. It's amazing. You deserve it. Well, what first inspired me actually was the difficulties that I have faced very early on. When I was even younger, I was a freshly graduate in university, not really knowing what am I gonna do next, and if whatever I am doing at the moment, at that time, was the right thing and what I want. So I started off studying political science in university. I thought that was my passion. That's what I'm gonna end up doing. Little that I've known at that time that it was a little bit challenging, but what was even more challenging was the society around me in the university, within my own society, my own circle, accepting that a young girl from a certain family that wants to enter into the diplomatic field and become an ambassador or become someone who's going to start changing things in the world. That was my challenge at that time. And that created, I would say, maybe so many questions within myself. I started even questioning myself if I'm able to continue or not, and what exactly am I going to do next? Is it really the right thing? Is it the right choice or not? So from there, I think fighting for what I thought was mine and what is going to be my future, I have decided to just ignore everyone else and do what I want. I've started studying political science. I focused on that. But then within the university, I've started a very small business within the young ladies in university. At that time, I thought people refusing me becoming a political person was difficult. When I started my own small hustle on the side, they refused me even more. And that made me want more. And that is where I really started going into entrepreneurship and the business world. And from that time, every and each challenge I face made me want more up to this day.
Mm-hmm. It's a very interesting story. Thank you so much. Sarah, how did you get started?
Yeah, I got started as an entrepreneur from age 11, okay? I'm the kid that had their own lemonade stand. I always liked to have more cash in my pocket than my parents were willing to give me. But what made me get serious about entrepreneurship is one day I picked up a Forbes magazine, and it was the wealthiest people in America. And I looked at it and I said, it changed my life, actually. I looked at it and I noticed every single person on there was an entrepreneur. That was one. Two is that's one of the things that made me decide to take entrepreneurship seriously, because I knew I had what it took from like my days of my lemonade stand, you know. And then I looked on there and I noticed that 96 out of the 100 were male, and the bulk were white male. So I said, I not only want to be an entrepreneur, I want to focus on female. I want to be a female entrepreneur. And I know America is not the country for me to potentially look there. And I heard that there was this brown country in the Middle East that was just coming up. This was in 2008. And that's when I packed my bags and moved to Dubai and decided to try my entrepreneurial dreams here. And what happened was everyone thought I was crazy when I moved here. Because back then, when you would say Middle East, I'm moving to Dubai, no one had heard of Dubai as it is today. But I saw something and I thought it was a very interesting place. And I saw that they were just starting to get involved in entertainment and, it was a very luxurious place. And I loved that part of it. But I saw a gap in the market when I came to visit. Celebrities were coming in to just for 24 hours. Do a quick appearance, concert, get paid a bunch of money and leave because they were so afraid of it, all right? And I was wondering, why is everyone just coming and staying for a little while and not getting to know the place? They were like, well, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know the culture. What if we get our hands chopped off? Maybe we have to cover. So I realized people need to actually learn about the region and actually spend time when they're here, okay? Actually enjoying meeting people, seeing the culture. And that's what I started a business as. Basically having entertainers, when they came in, spend a 4-5 day itinerary based on what they were interested in. And that's what led me to my entrepreneurship journey of just literally finding a problem in the market, being able to solve it, and working hard to make sure that I met that demand. And we got noticed immediately. Dubai Tourism said, wait a second, what are these celebrities doing posting about Dubai? Who's doing this? And the first celebrity they paid for was through my agency, okay? And we began this journey of showing this whole different side of the Middle East to the world.
Irina.
Hello, everyone. My name is Shamilova Irina. I'm founder and main designer of Erin Jewelry House. I will speak Russian today. For me, it's more comfortable, so I hope everyone has translation. Начиная свою карьеру в ювелирном деле, мне очень хотелось показать миру свое собственное видение ювелирного искусства. То, как вижу ювелирное искусство я. И когда я решила основать ювелирный дом, я ставила перед собой цель сделать не просто красивые ювелирные украшения, а создать бренд, в котором украшения будут усиливать женщину. И надевая ювелирные украшения в ювелирном доме Эрин, мне хотелось, чтобы женщина ощущала себя невероятно мощной, сильной. Она становилась лучшей версией себя. Я сама прямое, наверное, тому доказательство, вся моя жизнь, что нет ничего невозможного. И на самом деле, ставя цели, чем более сложные, масштабные цели ты ставишь, тем интереснее их достигать. И нет ничего невозможного. Все, что мы можем представить в своей голове, на 50% уже реально. Мне очень понравилось то, что сегодня говорила Мила с утра, что ставьте большие цели, идите к ним, достигайте. Про форум в прошлом году, про вдохновение. Я думаю, многие из вас были на форуме в прошлом году, кто-то приехал первый раз. Когда я посетила данный форум в прошлом году, я настолько вдохновилась, столько потрясающих женщин я встретила. Это была какая-то невероятная история про нетворкинг, синергию, что в течение года, вот с прошлого марта, моя компания набрала невероятные обороты. Я приняла решение открывать компанию здесь, в Middle East, в Дубае, в Абу-Даби, и сегодня мы делаем это. Более того, я настолько вдохновилась, что я еще успела за этот год родить еще одного ребенка. Вот моему младшему ребенку, 4-му, 5 месяцев. Это тоже произошло между двумя форумами. С прошлого форума по этот вот. И, собственно, я поняла, что совмещать все роли – это очень классно и легко. И для женщин, для нас нет ничего невозможного. Мы можем иметь много детей, много бизнесов, быть успешной и процветать, когда мы верим в себя. И очень важно объединяться вот так вместе. И что мне хотелось передать через свой бренд, чтобы, надевая украшения Эрин, девочка, она чувствовала, как у нее вырастают крылья, в прямом смысле этого слова. А натуральные камни в бренде, они ее усиливали, потому что все натуральные камни, которые есть в природе, они обладают огромной энергетикой, которую им дает Земля. Они хранятся тысячелетиями в Земле. И мне хотелось заложить саму концепцию бренда, философию, как усилить женщину. как позволить женщине поверить, что она может все. Потому что, по сути, потолка нет. Мы можем абсолютно все, что мы представляем, и наши возможности ограничиваются только нашей фантазией. Вот, наверное, это одна из основных миссий бренда, и все коллекции в бренде, они очень философские, глубокие и сильные. Они о женщинах, о нас, о каждой из нас. И в бренде практически нет украшений, которые повторяются дважды, потому что каждая из вас уникальна, и для каждой мне хочется создавать что-то свое уникальное. И создавая ювелирные коллекции, в каждое название, в каждое ювелирное украшение я вкладываю любовь. Все, что я делаю через любовь, огромную любовь. И мои 4 детей, и мой бизнес, и бизнес здесь. Сейчас я запускаю еще один проект международный. Все сделано с любовью, и для меня это, наверное, самое главное, что я хотела передать через свой бренд. Чтобы каждая верила в себя, и какой бы проект она ни запускала, будет это ребенок или это будет бизнес, вкладывать туда свою любовь, творчество, верить в себя. И вот коллекция, наверное, многие здесь видели, одна из наших коллекций, она уже такая достаточно известная, я запатентовала ее по всему миру, Time Capsule, капсула времени, она как раз про это. Ты собираешь те даты, которые тебя усиливают, те дни и события, которые помогают тебе верить в себя. И вот, наверное, это главная задача моего бренда – усилить женщину и показать ей, что все начинается с любви к себе. И все нужно делать через любовь. И надевая Эйрин, девочка, она становится лучшей версией себя, открывает себя в самых красивых ролях, в самой прекрасной роли.
Thank you, Irina. And Tina, let's talk about your own journey. How did you get started?
First of all, good afternoon, everyone. It has been absolutely pleasure to attend this beautiful event and share the stage with beautiful ladies. My journey and my inspiration, it's started when I was back in Iran. At the age of 26, when I got proposed to marry, very excited and happy. The next morning, I went back to my parents. I'm the only child. So I went to my dad and my mom on a breakfast and I said, guess what? I'm getting married. And I was excited and I thought my mom and dad, they said, thanks God, at the age of 26, finally, she's getting married. It was a time that my dad looked at me and she says, Tina, I don't think that's the way for you. You have so much to do. I want you to leave. What I dream for you is to leave Iran, go outside and start your own business and give back. So today, the start of our conference, when Mila was talking about her own experience, it just brought to my mind that how much I appreciate my father and my parents, that they literally, my dad literally after 2 weeks shipped me. He came with me to Dubai. He brought me here. I started in American University in Dubai. I started my MBA. And afterwards, my journey started to be the co-founder of Tips and Toes. So what was inspired me was the confidence and the belief that my father gave me.
Well, we have some very different stories, and you're all from very different industries, so I'm very excited to finally dig into the discussion. So I'll start with you again, Your Highness, Sheikha Jawahir. What would you say are the most important character traits or skills that an entrepreneur needs today to succeed?
A business person would say things like resilience, would say things like be knowledgeable, be focused, strong. That is all correct. But I would say, first, you need to love yourself. You need to have confidence in yourself. You need to be able to challenge yourself. And you need to be stubborn sometimes. I really do believe that no matter, human beings, we can adapt and learn. And we can always have progress, yeah? But most importantly, the things that start with ourselves, things that it's difficult to learn from other people. it needs to start from me first. Any characteristics that you need with along the way, hopefully one way or another, you will learn them. But loving yourself is not something that someone can teach you.
Very true.
Being confident, feeling that you're strong, being stubborn towards negativity, towards people who maybe would be jealous, maybe just have the bad energy or not your best interest. No one can be a bigger supporter to yourself except you. So start from there.
Don't tell me I have to go after that.
Thank you. Irina, if you want to go ahead.
3 вещи я считаю очень важны. Очень классная идея, которой ты горишь, в которую ты веришь. То есть придумать что-то, что ты хочешь создать, и верить в это, невероятно верить в это, как я говорила уже, с огромной любовью. Второе – это технологии. Я считаю, что сегодня невероятно важны технологии, уникальность продукта. То есть твой продукт должен быть высокотехнологичен, обязательно использование искусственного интеллекта, очень много разных моментов, которые будут отличать твой продукт в любой сфере от всех остальных продуктов на рынке. И третье – это, пожалуй, невероятно крутая команда. Вот я очень горжусь своей командой. В моей компании фантастическая команда. Это, в принципе, люди, которые смотрят в ту же сторону, куда я. Это люди моих ценностей. Я очень долго формировала эту команду. Я считаю основной своей заслугой. И почему мы пришли к успеху, и мы всегда успешны и востребованы, это моя команда. Потому что в мире витает огромное количество хороших идей. Но чтобы классную идею реализовать, у тебя должны быть технологии и классная команда, которая идет с тобой. Это люди, которые готовы с тобой идти к твоей цели, верить в тебя, верить в твой успех, видеть, как видишь ты. И даже если иногда я предлагаю какие-то сумасшедшие идеи, абсолютно неадекватные на первый взгляд, они никогда не спорят, они говорят: да, окей, мы согласны, делаем, все, мы идем вперед. И вот с такой командой ты всегда придешь к успеху, потому что люди в синергии, когда они объединяются, они становятся мощнее и успешнее. Поэтому идея, технологии, команда – это вот то, на что я бы делала ставку, и то, на что я делаю ставку в своей компании, в своей жизни, и это работает.
Sarah, what would you say?
Yeah. I would say one of the most critical, and these answers are brilliant, but one of the most critical things I found is the ability to fail forward. What do I mean by that? Number one, so many people are afraid to fail. Failure is a part of entrepreneurship. It is the foundation of entrepreneurship. Jack Ma, who's founder of Alibaba, said that if he were to write a book, the title of the book would be 10,000 Mistakes. All right, just to document all the mistakes that he had made and all of the failures. So the ability to actually fail forward means taking responsibility, analyzing what went wrong. A lot of entrepreneurs I see, when something happens in their business, let's say a partner, things don't work out, they blame the partner. Employees they hire don't work out, they blame the employees. I actually tell entrepreneurs you should blame yourself, in the sense of look at the qualities of that partner or that employee, or if you lost a deal to another supplier, find out what the reason was for that failure, and correct it. That is the best way to get something out of your business. And a conference is a great example. I used to come to conferences way back in the day and be so hungry. And I'm like, I'm going to meet, 30 people and get all these business cards. And I would get the business cards. And then I'd be like, well, that conference, I didn't get anything out of it, right? So then I said, how can I fail forward, right? Probably a dozen people have come up to me today and said, hey, I saw you on Instagram, I sent you a message. I did the same thing, but then I realized that didn't work. So I would take it another step and I would email people and set up meetings in advance. So all of these elements of failing forward, it's so easy to make an excuse and say, the employees aren't great, the workforce isn't good, the partners aren't good, there's no business, these conferences, you just go there and you meet no one. But if you actually take a step back and take responsibility and see what you could do differently, you'll be surprised at how easy business becomes and life becomes.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Thank you. And Tina, what would you say are the most important character traits?
I think passion, I always have 3P, which is passion, purpose, and power. Passion, I believe, if you really, really love what you're doing, it completely make the journey different. So you really need. Personally, I've been working 20 years in the same, industry, the same job almost. Every morning I wake up and I say, I'm glad with all the challenges, up and down. So passion, power, as we, Sheikh, Her Highness mentioned very clearly, resilience, because there is a lot of rejection that we have to accept and move forward. And confidence, have a belief in yourself that you know you can do it. And if you fall, you stand up stronger. And the last one is purpose. Have a clear vision. What do you want? What is the future? Look at the future. And I strongly believe in today's words, one of the vision that all of us, we should carry is what to do for our planet. So if we have a clear vision and a mission towards that, I think it all translates to the success of the business.
Yes, of course. Thank you.
Yes, wonderful.
We have a very interesting question about purpose coming up very soon. But before that, I'd like to address Irina. Let's talk about the jewelry industry. So why did you choose to get started in the jewelry industry?
Я решила, что я хочу заниматься именно ювелирным искусством, ювелирным бизнесом, потому что самое главное, что я спросила себя, чем бы я хотела заниматься, чтобы не работать, чтобы мое хобби стало моей работой. Я вообще всегда себе задаю в жизни вопрос в любой сфере, чем бы я ни занималась, делаю ли я это с удовольствием. Я понимала, что есть в моей голове такая теория квадрата, да, если 4 угла совпадают, то ты на своем месте. Вот я расскажу немножко про это. Первое. Ты в этом чуть талантливее других. Второе. Ты получаешь от этого удовольствие, занимаясь этим. Третье. Это приносит пользу миру и людям. То есть ты полезна. И четвертое, это приносит финансовый доход. Вот если эти 4 угла совпадают, то ты занимаешься своим делом. Так я определяла свое направление, чем я хочу заниматься. И для меня, в принципе, бизнес, которым я занимаюсь, это намного больше, чем работа. Это моя любовь, это моя жизнь, это еще один мой ребенок. Я всегда, когда рассказываю о бренде, я говорю, это мой 5-й ребенок. Я безумно люблю Эйрин, я живу этим, я просыпаюсь с мыслями про Эйрин, засыпаю с мыслями про Эйрин, потому что на самом деле, когда ты занимаешься тем, что любишь, тебе это делать очень легко. И достаточно сложно делать то, что ты не любишь. Поэтому нужно всегда выбирать все про любовь. И в любой сфере, где бы ты ни был, очень важно определить для себя, твое ли это направление. Вот я уверена, что в зале есть люди, например, которые хотят поменять сферу деятельности, либо, возможно, кто-то очень молодой только начинает. Да? Вот никогда не слушайте никого, спрашивайте себя, чем ты реально хочешь заниматься в этой жизни каждый день, чтобы каждое утро, просыпаясь, ты горела. Вот ты просыпаешься в состоянии счастья и понимаешь, что ты будешь сегодня делать это приносит тебе невероятное удовольствие. Каждый процесс в моей компании, который я контролирую, я очень люблю. Люблю ювелирное дело, люблю драгоценные камни, их энергию. Мне нравится создавать ювелирные технологии. Я профессиональный ювелир, технолог, гемолог. Я изучаю камни. Мне нравится коллекционировать камни. Я 20 лет создавала уникальную коллекцию камней, собирая их по всему миру. То есть это мое хобби, это моя работа, это моя жизнь. И поэтому это никогда не надоест, потому что развитие в этой сфере будет бесконечным. Каждое утро, просыпаясь из состояния любви, ты будешь через творчество отдавать в этот мир что-то классное. То, что каждый из вас будет приносить радость, будет полезно и будет радовать не только меня, но и вас. И вот, наверное, выбирая, чем я буду заниматься, я выбирала ювелирный бизнес именно с этой точки зрения. Кстати, если позволите, мы представлены впервые. Сегодня у нас премьера в Дубае. We are partners of this forum this time, and I would like to present you a small film about our jewelry company. It's very small, 20 seconds, but I think it's very beautiful about emotions and about what we do. If we can see, is it possible now? Thank you. It's a Fern and Dew collection. It's about Russian forest and about love. So that's all.
So you spoke a lot about purpose. And I know this is something you're very passionate about, so I'll direct this question towards you, Tina. When we were speaking earlier, we were talking about the Japanese concept of ikigai. So that's finding one's deeper purpose in life. And we spoke about the synergy, where if you do find your purpose, that kind of does translate into business success. If you decide to monetize it, start a business. Could you talk about your own perspective on that?
Yes. When I got the question, I was very excited to discuss about this and share my personal experience. It took me a couple of years until I really, really, really found what is the purpose of my life, regardless of business and work. And I strongly believe that my purpose in life is to empower and nurture people around me. So the day that I really found that, the whole journey of leading the team and building the team changed for me. I accepted differences. Always profit, money, all this, it's a part of, but that for me became the second. I put that aside and my focus went into my human dynamic in the business. And I really, really started, and I've seen that. So I think the minute we found the real purpose, initially what I wanted is that, becoming the biggest chain of the spas in the Middle East, or I make double digit, triple the percentage of the profit. But I put those one aside, and I found that this is me, this what makes me happy, and this what I feel that I've done something. So that has changed the whole journey. I accepted, and I saw that all when I found that translated at the end to the success and a bottom line of the business. So I think it's very important that we sit back, we really look at ourself, we go through the self-realization, self-awareness, and find out what is a real purpose for us.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Tina. It's amazing. And Sarah, we were also talking about this earlier.
Yeah, when I first started off, my purpose was to get rich. I wanted to make money. I was like, I want to be rich. I want to be on Forbes. And then I realized, this is a lot of hard work. This isn't enough to get me out of bed. I'm okay just being average. And then I started to think a lot about, why am I doing this? What is the real reason? Because you're right. It's if there's no true purpose, money's not enough. Being an entrepreneur is just too difficult. You need to have some type of motivation. And then, I was with my niece, and she was talking about how they were making fun of her at school because my heritage is African, so she has an African last name, and she said they were making fun of her for being African, for being all of these elements, and it reminded me of this trip that my mother took us on when we were growing up. We grew up in the States, in a small town, America, in Ohio, and the kids used to make fun of us because the media would show that Africans were climbing trees naked and all these things. So these kids would call us all these crazy names. And my father was a doctor. My mother was a professor. They were very well educated. So I'm like, where is this coming from? So they actually, it affected our self-esteem and self-worth so much to where our parents said, we're going to take you guys to Africa so you can see where you came from. And that trip really, I came back feeling like this African queen. I was only 11, and I came back feeling so proud of where I was from. And I realized I had actually made a career out of that. I'd made a career of dispelling stereotypes of this region, right? Because everyone, when I was moving here, it was a time when everyone was looking for bin Laden in 2008 when I moved here, and they're like, I would be safe, the terrorism, blah, blah, blah. And I said, that's not how it is, so I realized I utilized media and entertainment to dispel these stereotypes because of not just people of color, but women. The fact that women can be in the Middle East and could be bosses, right? And the fact that women don't have to necessarily get married in their 20s. Like, I'm a woman still single and living my best life, you know? So my purpose became very clear in that I wanted to look out for this little Sarah and the little Her Highness that's in school and wants to be proud of who she is, her color, her race, her nationality, or ethnicity, her gender, and use media to do that. And as a result, my company evolved from just having celebrities experience the region to now we're doing work in Africa, and now we're touching an even bigger market. Because I understood my purpose, we're focusing on content now and telling stories of the region to the world. Yeah.
Thank you for that, Sarah. Sheikha Jawahir, Your Highness, did you have something to add to this as well?
Actually, yes. Touches a very, very soft spot in my heart. Why? Because I was once that little girl that was told,
All of us.
no, you need to finish school, get married. Because at some point, it was what we knew and it was what we accepted. But because we are in a very progressive country with a very wise leadership, they immediately, within focusing on developing the country, one of the most important things that I have focused on is developing the human being, to focus on the knowledge, the perspective, the education, opportunities, gender equality. Some people might think that this is new to us or it's very recent, but this has been happening for so long. So at the very beginning, yes, I faced at some time, I was rejected in some fields. I was challenged because I am a girl, because I come from a certain family. If it doesn't come from my own family, then I was rejected somewhere else in the society. Someone always had that no factor that they would throw in your face. You're not. If it's not because who you are, then it's because you're a woman. As simple as that. But very quickly that changed because we were given the opportunity to be heard, to become decision makers. Now, when it comes to the purpose, at the very beginning, when I faced all of that, I was looking for someone to help me. I needed someone to become my float boat, you know, like to grab on and please take me with you on this journey wherever it's going. At that time, I did not find anyone around me personally because it was like, no, everywhere. So I had to create that float system for myself. But then, because I was, alhamdulillah, thank God, because I was blessed to overcome that obstacle, and then quickly everything has changed, and women were given their rights. We had our rights, but I mean, they were given more seats on the table, on the decision making, on the education, on everything else. Very quickly that developed. Now, I really I used to remind myself every time I go on a stage talking to young girls, I would remind them of me, because I started at some point with no support. That is where I knew what is my greater purpose. Mm-hmm. To be able, thank you, to be able to guide even one person, specifically one lady, one young lady, to guide, to support, to encourage, to empower That is where I found my greater purpose. If one person I could have affected them, 1%, I will sleep at night like a baby.